Main Heritage, Part 2, The Neolithic Period, Introduction, a Definition. Hello everyone. We're going to take a little trip back in time. Imagine being around 12 years old again. Your history teacher is explaining what the Neolithic period was. Welcome to this short journey through time. This prehistoric period was marked by major technical, social, and societal changes. The first appearance of the Neolithic in our regions dates to around 5000 BCE. It was followed by the Bronze Age, beginning in the 3rd millennium BCE. The climate was just emerging from the last ice age and was warming up. Humans transitioned from a hunter-gatherer lifestyle to one based on herding and agriculture. Animals began to be domesticated, initially for their meat, milk, wool, and leather. Later, their strength was also harnessed as draft, pack, and riding animals. Main Heritage, Part 2, The Neolithic Period, Agriculture and Herding. The shift to agriculture allowed for some control over food supply and led to a real population boom. However, agriculture remained heavily dependent on climate, which is why hunting, fishing, and gathering continued to make up for possible food shortages. They created the first gardens and fields where they grew barley, wheat, and millet for cereals, and beans, lentils, and peas for vegetables. By selecting the strongest specimens of grain and the most robust plants to gather seeds, humans performed the first form of plant selection. They did the same with animals. The wild boar was the first domesticated animal, kept in pens where it reproduced. As with plants, the strongest individuals were selected to improve the species. Stabling allowed animals to grow larger, something that would not have been possible in the wild. This is how the wild boar became the pig, the auroch became the cow, the ibex became the goat, and the mouflon became the sheep. Not all animals were domesticated for their products, however. Some were tamed for the help they could offer. The wolf, for example, became the dog, assisting humans in guarding and herding tasks, while the horse was used for transportation. Main Heritage, Part 2, The Neolithic Period, Technology. Technical innovation helped humans in their daily struggle for survival. The first major invention was the bifacially shaped and polished stone. This made agricultural tools, axes, adzes, scrapers, etc., very strong. Most tools were made from flint, which was used for hunting, crafting, and woodworking. Then came pottery and ceramics, which allowed people to cook and transport food and goods. The most common ceramics in our regions were of the linear pottery type, characteristic of the Omal culture. But as we'll see in the next episode, Vosette holds a surprise for us. Main Heritage, Part 2, The Neolithic Period, Habitat. What remains of these humans' passage through our lands? The traces of their existence are of several kinds. First, we have remains of their dwellings. As mentioned earlier, the Neolithic period saw major demographic growth and a break from the Paleolithic way of subsistence. Advances in agriculture and herding led to the creation of villages. Many were found in the Hesbaye region, for example, Geia, Remicourt, Wareham Longchamps, Fexler Hortclocher, Owens von Chenise, Olisle-Zeep, Udumont, Verlaine, and 4 sites at Vosette. Agriculture required more permanent human settlements and led to the birth of villages. Buildings made of wattle and daub and stone replaced skin huts. Houses were of the longhouse type, like those still seen in Scandinavia. The main settlement centers in Belgium were in Hainaut and the Hesbaye region, in the form of villages. Excavations near the local airport have revealed a major site. 14 houses have been identified so far, though no enclosure palisade, oven, or well has yet been found, suggesting that many more houses remain undiscovered. Excavations are expected to continue until 2035. By the end of the Neolithic, proto-towns existed with populations reaching between 10,000 and 20,000 inhabitants. Farming and herding also led to the creation of food storage areas and animal pens. These reserves attracted envy, leading to the rise of a warrior class tasked with protecting food supplies. Such rivalries likely triggered raids and even clan wars. Main Heritage, Part 2, The Neolithic Period, Population. Genetic studies have shown that Neolithic populations across Europe, in Serbia, Germany, Spain, and Sweden, were very similar genetically and descended from the same stock, the early European farmers, e.f. They likely originated from an ancient Near Eastern population, distinct from the current native populations of Europe. Otzi, the man found frozen in the Italian Alps, gives us a glimpse into the appearance and clothing of Neolithic humans. His body, preserved in high-altitude ice, remained in an extraordinary state of conservation. Scientists even managed to reconstruct his oral cavity and vocal cords, reproducing the sounds he might have made. There is, however, partial continuity between these early European farmers and today's European populations, due to the later arrival of Indo-Europeans from the eastern steppes before the Bronze and Iron Ages. The Indo-European genetic influence is stronger in Northern Europe, whereas Southern Europe, especially the Southeast, remained closer to the ancient Neolithic genetic population. Main Heritage, Part 2, The Neolithic Period, Legacy. These settlements also provided artifacts such as tools and pottery. From these, archaeologists identified the linear pottery and Blician cultures. The Neolithic people also left us megaliths, found in an area called the Kalesgen, which we'll discuss during our visit to Wherries. There are also burial sites in the Meuse Valley, such as the Les Avens cave in the commune of Clavier. Their legacy also lives on in the toponymy of our rivers and streams. The Meuse and its derivatives, Moselle, Mouzon, Mozanne, the Sambre, Somme, Selle, Rua, Shore, and Voa are remnants of Neolithic names. Other pre-Celtic words survive in our dialects and local expressions. Here are some examples: cal, rock, give chalet, kala, pebble, or ka, a small playing bone in Walloon Liégeois. A baume is a burrow or mine gallery. Grieve, sand, became to gravel in French. Ampon is now amon, spar, or ampone, gorm, meaning raspberry. Bur derived into bara, baron, biro, all meaning ram. Britta gave brel, meaning chive. Let's now go and meet these Neolithic men and women by heading to Vosette-Borset. Main Heritage, Part 2, The Neolithic Period, Credits. We would like to thank the following for allowing the use of their audio-visual material: a schoolmouth.fr, Ecosciences Nouvelle Aquitaine, Pixabay, Julia Kuzenkov, Nitesh Yadav, R. Khalil, Eva Bronzini, Lacustria, Harold Dick, Alexa's Photos, Gabriella Palai, Adrian Stahoviak, Nina Rath, Bernard Skierman, Jenny Kay, Patrice Schofold, Janko Furlick, Robin Muller, Musée de Préhistoire d'Île-de-France, Art, Musée Camille Claudel, Samara.fr, Federico Di Dio, Hamelin de Gettelit, Daily Mail Online. Archaeosciences, Rossella Lorenzi, and others, with references to archaeological and linguistic studies listed in the original document.